Hi, it's Miniature Model Paul with a update on my HMS Nelson, the Trumpeter 1/200 scale. I think I got that right this time. And so basically, I've done a bit more to my boats. I've actually got them painted. I did spray the tops in using the teak, the actual just deck tan of Tamiya, and then gave them a bit of a wash. And then, because I didn't like it, and I thought, well, I won't rub it off, I went back with the deck tut colour and thinned it really thin, so I could actually do mist colours and get into areas and give it a bit more depth. And I think it looks quite nice, so that would be okay. I might put a bit of oils over the top of it to give it a bit or clear orange or whatever, just to give it a little different look, but I'm not sure. I'm quite happy because it's going to be textured. I also decided I won't do the cabins in white. I've noticed on another build, a fantastic build of the Nelson, was done 7 years ago. It was on a video on YouTube. I can't remember who it was, and if I remember to put it on the bottom I will. He done a really great job, but he actually painted the cabins white. Now I think, as the ships are based in 1944 and it was a war, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have been white, but I prefer to do them grey. And if before I fix them in place I find out they were white, it won't take too much for me to go back and do, well, it will actually, so I must really leave them. I'll stick with the grey, a war colour. They might have painted them out once their piece came along and put white on them, but I'm going to stick with the grey. I think it is a wartime ship, and so there you go. So anyway, without for any more chitter chatter and waffle, as I like to call it, let's pop down to the bench and have a look. It's not going to be a long bit, so because I'm just showing you that, but I am progressing slowly and getting stuck in. Here we go then, down to the bench. Right, we're back. Oh, here's recording and the speakers on, which I keep hearing to check. So as you can see, I've done them now. What I've done is I've left this one off so you can actually see how it was painted. And this is quite an handy device really, this bit over here, if you can see. That bit there, because it clamps it, and I used it to paint because you can tilt it and swivel it in rain, so it's quite nice. So I've done that, and I've done the actual Tamiya XF54 heavily finned, obviously, painted this by hand, all the grey, including the screen areas at the front, which you might be able to see there. There you go. Didn't make a bad job of it, and I think I'm doing a brush, and I'm quite happy in telling you. I may, as I said, go on there with a bit of colour to make it look more teakish in that way, and but I've done these as well, as you can see, all painted in details in. I used that Tamiya dark brown accent colour to actually run it around the gaps, and then I wasn't happy with that because it looked too dark, including on this boat as well, and that one, and it was okay, but I thought myself, no. So what I did, and then I got me wooden deck tan, the XF78, which is heavily finned, and you might be able to hear it. And basically I sprayed a mist colour, very misty, over it, and it actually toned it down, and it made it look a little bit more as I'd like it to be. So I don't know if I can get a bit more light on here. Oh, that's it anyway. But I didn't put my other light out, but I think it still shows up okay. So, and this is what I did with there, and this was a Ron's way of doing it as well, and I quite liked it, but I did mist over it again so that you can actually, I see what I mean. Oops, no, it's better on there, and I've got to go careful because I've got a propeller on the bottom as well that I've done in copper brass as well. So there you go. So I'll put it there because it will look. You can see it anyway, but it's actually nice and you can see it in the cabin as well. So this is how it's look. This bit is looking. Oops, put it back in. And as I said, very pleased with that. So now I've got to do is my Mr. Micro Crystal Clear to put the windows in, and I think doing it with this way was better. Oh, well, I meant to mention this. These boats, this doesn't go into that bit very tidily. So what I did is I took the scraper, the scraper I was sitting on my desk, this one here, and basically went round inside the boat and actually scraped it until taking some off, because you do a bit so it's angled, and then I went round the outside of this and did exactly the same angle it, so it slots into the slot a little bit deeper. Otherwise you're going to have it sitting proud, which is what I didn't want it to do. So that worked really well. This boat, obviously this one hasn't got the, whoops, there you go, I don't know if it's going to work, but There you go. So I've done quite a bit. It looks nice, and you can see the colour underneath as well. And there's the copper, the brass, copper. Sorry, propeller there. I think it's copper, not copper, but it is brass. I can use brass. So that was nice. And there's little boats here. Now these two go on the side of the ship, evidently. Now, in the instructions. It doesn't show them on the side, I don't think. So I'm not sure what to do, but I'm definitely going to put them on the boat ship. So that's okay. So I've got to make. Where's my fix? I've gone back to the sheet. I've got to make. These boat supports up as well. Whoops, sorry. This is wrinkled because I thought I'd finished with it, but I hadn't. Where is it? Yeah, that is it. Oh, there. There it is. I've got to make these boat supports and put these covers in. They've all been sprayed, so it's coming on all right, and so it'll be okay. So I'm quite pleased with that. I'll put that over. So things are coming along all right, and we're moving slowly, and put that back down there. So as I said, this took ages to hand paint, and so did that. It's just one of those things. But everything, the whole underneath was sprayed in spray booth, and the inside colours were sprayed as well. But then I actually hand painted these support bolts once they was in place, so that they was actually looking deck tan as well, including the actual where the motor is. The only thing I did find was unusual is there was no place to put there must be a steering rudder at the back here that comes up through this deck somehow, but I got a feeling perhaps there's a hole there, and they'd slot it into place when they needed it. I'm just guessing, unless something else comes up, but no, it's got to have something that be like a rudder, isn't it? Because I can't see how you steer them. But anyway, as they're in place on the ship, it's not going to worry me too much. If this was a slightly bigger, if I wanted to, I suppose I could still do that and put a bar coming across as if it's ready of use, but I don't know whether it would actually do. This isn't glued onto that bottom boat, it's just sitting there, so that's what I mean. So oops, let's come this way. There you go. It's not glued in place, so that's not too much of a problem. Now I just lift that off and I can glue these ones onto the deck supports and then work my way up. So yeah, and this one has its own little supports evidently, or just sits around the side. I don't know, because I didn't see any supports for that one. But there you go. So that's the end of this update. Oh yeah, well, I can say this. I have done this. I don't know what it's going to show, but there it is. It's got crystal clear in it, and I think you can see the chrome that's inside shining. There you go. It looks better in actual when you look at it. Right, I've done all four. I've also sprayed up these. That's fallen over now, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be there. There you go. They've been sprayed as well, including all the binoculars and bits and pieces. I'm not sure whether I want to paint the binoculars a different colour. Might do that later. I'm not sure. So there you go. So that's everything that I've done so far. I'm quite happy with it, and just got to plod on slowly and do bits and more, smaller bits as well. So thank you very much for watching this one, and thank you very much for all my subscribers. Ron's doing a great job on his saddle that he's doing for his e-bike, and making it personally for him, and it looks good. All I would say is I should have commented, but basically I would put where the actual saddle slots in originally, you could actually have a little bit of a broomstick or something that would fit going into that hole as well, a little way down, with two brackets holding it in place, and it give even more stability. That's what I'm just thinking, but he must probably think of that anyway. He's a clever old devil. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next video. Happy modelling.